Hey, good evening, good evening, good evening. How are you guys doing? It is Wednesday, it's Hump Wednesday, but it's also Power Mommy Moves. Power Mommy Moves is here with me, the natural lady boss, L Boogie. You know, we are here for the special edition. I have Club Credit and Chill going on all week this week, where I'm going to be bringing you some fantastic information about the company I'm affiliated with, which is called Novae, and that stands for New Beginnings. So I'm telling you right now, you're going to have some new beginnings. If you caught my lives all week, you know I've been showing you and giving you information on what's going on. Hey, T, what up, Queen? How you doing, babe? Thank you for tuning in. So I got some music playing in the background. I don't know how this song got on, but it's all right. I'm trying to fast forward. Now we good. So you have time right now. I got everything together. As you know, if you're on Periscope, I'm already live on Periscope. So here I am live on Facebook and on Periscope. So you have time to share this broadcast, get a watch party going, and we're going to get started right now. So, like I said, you saw what the title was for today. I'm going to be talking about how you can become a homeowner. And a lot of people might say that you cannot be a homeowner, things like that, or they don't have the finances. They may not even know about their credit, and there's ways of being qualified. So, as always, I'm always doing my information for single parents because I am a single parent. But the information I give is not just for single parents. I just want to make sure that my fellow single parents out there gets this information, because we're usually pushed to the side, and people kind of tell us that we have to, it's going to be a struggle for us, and they kind of curve us, so to speak. But I'm here to tell you that you can have financial success. You can become a homeowner. So today, that's what I'm going to talk to you guys about, is the Novae Home program. So what does HOME stand for? HOME stands for Home Ownership and Mentorship Education. So we have so much to talk about, but before I actually get into what the HOME program entails, I'm going to talk a little bit about becoming a homeowner and what happens, as you go in. So when it comes to being a single parent, because like I said, I'm going to say about single parents, but this information is for everybody. You have time to share it with everybody else. Hey, Queen. Hey, Shannon. How you doing? Thank you for tuning in so much. So as a single parent, like I said, I am, it could seem as though that you might not be able to get through. That is high stakes. Everything is high stakes when it comes to your decision and actions for your family, for your kids. You're trying to decide what's best. And it's not just for single parents, it's for parents, period. It's for individuals. You're trying to make sure that you have the right decisions going on for your life to be successful, to be safe, and everything, especially with everything that's going on now. But buying a home can seem like an Olympic sport. So I'm glad to hear that, Shannon. So glad to hear that. It can seem like an Olympic sport because you're running here, you're running there, you got to do this, got to do that. The first house that you look at might not make it through inspection, something might fall through. You're going through so much, but in the end, it's so joyous that you're able to have the keys to your own house, not apartment, a house where your kids can run, you can have freedom, and it becomes yours. So I'm going to help you maneuver through the special difficulties you may face when buying a home. especially for single parents, a lot of this information, you definitely want to make sure that you have your notepad that you've had all week, because I know you've tuned in all week for Power Mommy Moves Club Credit and Chill. So here goes the information. So this is for anyone and everyone. The question that you first want to ask is, should I buy a home, right? So when you have responsibilities, the choice is to whether to rent or to buy is just not about monetary. Like I said before, we have our decisions and actions we have to think about. But as a single parent, it's also an emotional decision. As a parent, period, it's an emotional decision because these decisions that we make is based upon our child, what we're the influences in our child's life, right? So, but I wanted to let you know, actually, I wanted to ask you this. Did you know it's actually cheaper to buy a home than it is to rent? Because think about it, the amount of times, the amount of money that you shell out. Absolutely, Deanna Smith. Absolutely. And I know you are a realtor, so I'll definitely encourage y'all. I can't remember exactly what happened. I can't remember. I wanted to let you know. I don't know what just happened. Actually, I wanted to ask you. Did you know it's actually cheaper to buy a home? This is crazy. I don't know what just happened. There we go. Let me know, Miss Smith, exactly where you are. I think you're in North Carolina, but please let me know if I'm correct. But wherever you are, please let them know where you are. She is a realtor, and I've seen her do phenomenal things out there. And if she's in North Carolina, she will be getting some major contacts. But yeah, you definitely, like she said, you also want to have the right realtor to hold your hand through the process and even afterwards. I remember when my parents was buying this home, they had I think the first realtor that they got with actually walked us through the process, and they stayed in contact with them. I think maybe up to a year, maybe 2 years afterwards. You know, like it's a good thing. Sometimes you end up having a new friend that can just help you along the way, but you definitely want to make sure you have the right realtor. But like I said, it's cheaper to buy than it is to rent, because what you're doing is all that money you're shelling out to rent every month, you're paying someone else's mortgage, so to speak. You know, even though you say, well, I don't have to have the upkeep and things like that. But in the end, you get so much tax breaks when it comes to being a homeowner. And I'm going to talk about that a little later. So what happens is, here's the facts. Well, these facts here. What happens is, is when they say that it's cheaper to buy and rent, it's based upon if you have a down payment of 20% and you have a 30-year fixed mortgage. Now, you don't actually have to have 20% down payment. There's different programs that you may qualify for, but it all depends on what your credit score is, things like that. See, Miss Smith is a broker. She's not even a realtor. I'm so sorry about that. That's right. She's a broker. She has her own firm. She's a black-owned business, and she's licensed in North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia. Like I said, I'll be in contact with you, and I have a couple of people that I'll be sending your way as well. So what you want to do is, how you want to find out if you can afford a mortgage. They have something that's called a mortgage calculator, right? So it's an automated tool that helps determine your monthly payments based upon several factors, including PMI, which is your private mortgage insurance, taxes, homeowners insurance. Some places have HOA fees, which is homeowner association. It depends on where you live, your current loan rates, and there's more. So all of that factors in, and you put all these numbers in, and it'll tell you, along with some other things, it'll tell you exactly how much you can afford if you bought a house for X amount of dollars. So once you got your cost estimate, what you want to do after that, or if you don't want to do that first, you want to do what I'm about to tell you first. You want to consider the advantages and disadvantages of buying a home, especially for single parents. This is a must. Okay, so there was a study done by the Joint Center of Housing Studies at Harvard University. I believe this was done in 2012, 2013. So, and it stated that home ownership continued to be the top method of building wealth. Now, that's what it's all about. We want to build wealth. We want to make sure that we have the wealth to keep going for us currently right now, that we don't run out. We're not running to rob Peter to pay Paul and vice versa. We're not borrowing from people. We're not, for me, it's one of my goals is I'm not going to be clocking in to work. And that dream is soon coming that I won't have to clock in to work. I have my own business, my own brand that I could wake up to and work on every day and get paid. And it's going to help to make sure that me, my son, and my mom, we're good. Like, I'm not asking for a whole lot. I'm not asking for a little bit, but I'm asking for enough from myself to make sure I get the job done. So once you pay down the balance on your home loan, and God willing that it's appreciating in value, you are building equity and headed towards owning your home outright. So that's where the building of the wealth is at. So one difference in between renting and buying is renting provides 0% return on your money. So you don't get no money back from renting. You just steady shelling out money. In 2013, the New York Times stated that the median net worth of homeowners in the U.S. was $195,400, while renters' net worth was $5,400. That's $5,400. So as a renter, your net worth was basically nothing, so to speak, in 2013 compared to homeowners. So paying down your mortgage is piling up home equity is the best way for you low to moderate income earners to acquire wealth through what's called forced savings. So if you didn't know how to save, but you want to get a home, and like I said, I'm going to tell you about Novae's home program. But what happens when you buy a home, it forces you to save. It automatically forces you to save. So what else happens when it comes to home ownership? Some of the advantages, it helps lower your tax bill. So you get an annual benefit of home ownership. It comes in the form of tax deductions that's from the federal and state governments. Now, this is why you have a realtor or a broker that'll help you walk through all of this. I did a video a couple months ago that told you about the different languages that they have inside the world of real estate. Now, I didn't go through all of them, but it was a couple. So at least you had an idea. And if you're in the process of purchasing a home, you can see those and hear them like, okay, I remember what El Boogie said that this was, what PMI was, and things like that. So another benefit of owning your own home is the freedom to please yourself. Now be careful with those words, right? Your mind goes elsewhere. But basically, you get to design the home the way you want. Once you buy it, you get to design how you want it, what you want to paint it, things like that. When you have an apartment or you're renting, so to speak, even if you're renting a home, you're kind of limited to what you can do to the home. Now, yesterday, if you caught the call that I shared with you guys, that how to get a 800 plus credit score, there was a young lady on there by the name of Lisbeth Fernandez, and she is phenomenal, right? This young lady is 21 years old, and she's going on, I think she said year two, or she's going on year two of owning her home. She's a homeowner at 21. And she said yesterday that now since she's in her house, she's been in her house for a while, now she's getting into the realm where she's ready to make it her own. So she's painting, she might be doing some home, home improvements, things like that, but she's 21. She's 21 and she owns her own home. Now I'm telling you, it's possible. And she don't have like some little. I seen like pictures of her home is beautiful for her and her kids. And I'm telling you now that you can have the same thing. What also happens, another advantage of being a homeowner is that it stabilizes your housing costs. Now we know in a lot of places, especially in New York, where they can skyrocket your rent at any time if you're not in a rent stabilized apartment. So what happens is if you have a fixed rate mortgage, you'll know exactly how much your principal and interest will be for the entire loan. But as a renter, your landlord can raise your rent, right? So here and across the United States, you have public housing. Now, when it comes to public housing, it's based upon the income that is total inside the household. It's not based upon the person who name the apartment is in. So if it's grandma, grandpa, son, daughter, and son and daughter both have kids, whatever income is in the household, all that income combined, once calculated, is basically calculating your rent. So people is like, oh, but I just live there. But you live there, you're a part of the household, you're an authorized occupant of the household. Your rent, your income has to be calculated, how little, how small. Now people try to get away and be like, oh, well, I don't stay there all the time. Now you become an unauthorized occupant in a lot of these places. And what can happen is when that person, God forbid, passes away, you don't get to keep the apartment in a lot of states. There's no place where it says that, oh, they can will you this apartment. No, you can't will an apartment to somebody, especially in New York City, especially with our public housing. You cannot will the apartment. There's a lot of factors that go in before you can even be considered to take over the apartment, and that's across the board in a lot of these places. But you want to make sure that you know how much income is in your household. So if your income in a household totals up over $100,000, guess what? Your rent is going to be high. Now, just remember that. So there's so much more that I could go into about letting you know, like the basic advantages of being a homeowner, but I'd rather get into what exactly the home program is when it comes to Novae, right? So like I said, HOME stands for Home Ownership Mentoring Education, right? So it's a kit that's jam-packed with info. So it has the complete home buyer plan of action guide. It also has the qualifying for more house or less. It helps you qualify for more house or less. You learn how to get qualified with even a 580 credit score, right? A lot of people don't know that you can get a house if you have a 580 credit score. There's a lot of programs out there, especially for single parents, where you can get that home. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be, in Beverly Hills, so to speak, but you also have to make sure to know where you want to live. If it's in New York, if it's down south, if it's across the way in California, no matter where you want to live at, you definitely want to take that into consideration, because that'll tell you the type of home, the amount of home you're going to be able to have, right? You don't want to have too much home that you can't really take care of it. You get proven steps of choosing the right home for you. What did I just say, right? This is my special brew I made. You'll get 10 things a real estate agent should do for home buyers, right? So it's a guide that's going to help you through all of this. You're going to get how to choose the right real estate agent. There is a way and what you have to do through all of this. Of course, my son asked me what to do. When it comes to these, you never know what you get. You're gonna get a first time home buyer education guide. Not a lot of places will have this, but Novae do have this when it comes to our home program. You also get the online budgeting tool that helps you budget your money in order to make sure that you have enough down payment. You'll get the debt elimination software that I went over on Monday. You also get the wealth building guides that I went over on Monday. And on top of that, with this home program, you get the entire credit restoration and education program. So you get to go through the home process. Novae helps you go through the home process of getting the right home, getting qualified, things like that. But while you're getting qualified on one end, Novae is helping you on the other end with your credit. So everything's all in one, and it's a great piece to have. I'm definitely going through it. I keep telling y'all that I am in the process of finding my forever new home, because this is my parents' home. This isn't mine, but it's time for me. It's been time. But we have this thing called life. But it's time, and I've been ready to find my home. So I have where I want to go, and I know the size of the home I want. If I have to do some tweaking in my ultimate goals, but eventually I'm gonna have the size home that I want. But the person that shared this broadcast with you, they're a Novae affiliate. Ask them about the home program. You know, we have a lot of stories about people that have bought their home, bought their first home, things like that. And what you get when you get to this home program, there's actually a webinar that has so much more information that I couldn't do this whole thing in about 30 minutes. There's no way. It's so much information when it comes to being a homeowner that, or home buyer, I should say, that you just have to make sure you're paying attention, right? When it's a webinar, so you're able to pause it and write notes and things like that. But you definitely want to make sure to get back to the person that shared it with you. If you're looking at my broadcast and I'm the one that you get in contact with, definitely let me know. Inbox me if you want more information about the home program. I'm telling you, it's so worth it. Because my goal, as I stated yesterday, my goal is to help 50 single parents purchase their first home. That is my goal. Like, I want to make sure that single fathers, single mothers are able, and they can and they do purchase their home. A home for their child or their children. Because like I said, this is how you build wealth. You know, so it's great to have dreams. And what you should do now while you're home, and if you are off work, if you're working from home, you should start looking at ideas of the type of home you want to have. Do you want to have, how many bedrooms you want to have? Do you want to have a lot of land? Do you want to have a little bit? Do you want to have a townhouse, so to speak? Do you want to have um, you want to share a semi-attached? You want a fully detached? I know me, I want a fully detached. I don't want nobody next to me. I don't want to nothing. The house I'm in now is fully detached. Yard goes all the way around. It's enough yard. It's have enough room in the backyard. But I definitely want a fully detached. I am spoiled with that. Been spoiled since my parents bought this house. We used to live, they would say it was the projects, but it was way past the projects, because where I lived, people from the projects didn't even come there because it was so crazy. And I'm talking about very own Flatbush Vanderveer Estates. Like, if you're from Brooklyn and you was around in that era, you know all about Vanderveer Estates. And back in the days, you was not getting off that bus at New York and Foster if you did not know somebody there. You was not going on Front Page. You was not going to Sunshine Court. You was not going to the Terrace. You was not going to Back Page. You wasn't going anywhere without somebody trying to figure out who you are. And I remember all the battles. I remember all the battles. I've had people looking out for me, and you get it everywhere. I have family in all projects, out in Farragut houses. Lord have mercy. I had people watching there. Like I just couldn't take it. But the change going from an apartment to a home, it's a major change. Because when I was young and we first got into this house, I was like, I don't want to live in a house, but at the same time, I didn't want to live in Vanderbilt no more. It was time to go. It was time to go. It was crazy. But I was like, all I gotta do is take one bus from school. I'm right there. Coming out here, I had to take 2 to 3 buses just to get to school. And then at the same time, I was playing softball. I was on the basketball team. So I got threatened. They're like, nah, you can't transfer. You can't transfer. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, you know how long it's going to take me to get to school? What time I got to get out? Do you know how long it's going to take me to get home from games? Like, it was crazy. But I wouldn't change it for the world. And now all my son knows is living in a house. And I don't know if I can go back to an apartment. So in New York, I can't. There's no way I would go to an apartment in New York. I can't do it. So it's no way. It's no way. Like me, him, and my mom in an apartment. Let me just get on out of here right now. But you can have that home. You can have that condo. You can have that co-op. Whatever the dream is that you want, you can be a owner. You can be a home owner. So don't let anyone tell you that you cannot be a homeowner. It's not a dream. It's not realistic, so to speak. It is realistic for you. So like I said, at this time that you're in quarantine and you have downtime, I'm sorry, just look at pictures, whatever pictures you have home, look at pictures online, screenshot if it's on your phone, screenshot some pictures of homes, write down the type of homes you want. Like I said, how many rooms, yard, what you want, where you want to live. If you want to live in the same area that you at, or you want to move out of state, look at the different areas in the state that you want to live in. Like, it's so much, but it's so worth it. So that's it for today. We didn't run long today, but it's all right because I actually have to cook. So that's why I'm cutting it early. But I'm going to get going and I'm going to cook for my family. I'm going to nurse this migraine that I have. And tomorrow I'll be back again for another special edition of Power Mommy Move, the Club Credit and Chill. What am I talking about tomorrow? I don't remember. Let me see if I know. Because, I did share with y'all. I didn't share Monday and Tuesday. But I'll share. Let me see. What am I talking about tomorrow? Tomorrow I'll be going over just a synopsis. Can't do the whole thing because, well, I'll tell you in a minute. Tomorrow I'm going to be talking about business credit and funding. And that's going to lead up to a special webinar that's going on. I'm going to drop the flyer in the comment section here and make sure that you sign up for this webinar. If you know any business owners, small business, medium business that now had to close, you definitely want to tune in for this. Even if you want to start a business, you want to tune into tomorrow's webinar featuring the CEO and president of Novae, Mr. Rico McDaniel McCambry, where he's going to go over about this trillions of dollars in the stimulus package. It's so much that you can get your hands on to have a better life, but you have to get registered on the webinar. So once this is over, I'm going to drop it in the comments. I'm going to give y'all the website Periscope that you guys can log on to and register. And if you do register because of this broadcast and I'm your guest, make sure you send me an inbox letting me know that you have registered so I can send you a reminder as well that it's time to log on, because trust me, I'm registered and I will be on. So with that being said, it's time to bid you guys adieu. It's time for me to finish my special glass that I created myself. But you guys have a great night. Make sure you share this broadcast with your friends, your family, single parents, everybody that you know, because Just because you may not want to have or to be a homeowner, that doesn't mean somebody else that you know doesn't want to be a homeowner. They just may not know how to go about at it. So thank you guys again for tuning in. If you're catching a replay, make sure you hashtag replay gang. Thank you for sharing this broadcast, and I will be with you guys tomorrow. Same time, same place. We're going to be right here at Club Credit and Chill. You guys have a good night. Peace.